Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. Welcome to our forum titled Awareness on the Accurate Use of English Tenses, Reasons and Implications under the big idea Being Accurate, Being Professional. I am Wan Nur Zahira binti Wan Muhammad Syafi'i and I will be the moderator for today's session. With me, we have three panelists who will share their insights on the causes, effects and solutions related to inaccurate tense usage among learners. Our forum today will be divided into three rounds. Round 1, Causes or Reasons. Round 2, Effects and Implications. Round 3, Solutions and Ways to Overcome. Each panelist will speak for about a couple minutes in every round, and I will also participate as panelist D. To begin, we will start with round 1, where each panelist will discuss the causes and reasons behind frequent tense inaccuracies among English learners. Let's start with panelists A, B, C, and D. Please share your points.
Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the moderator for the questions. Today, I would like to talk about some of the common issues in our school system and how they affect the learning environment, especially when it comes to learning English. First, many schools still practice exam-oriented teaching. Teachers are often pressured to finish the syllabus quickly. Because of that, they focus more on what will come out in the exams instead of helping students to truly understand the subject. This causes students to memorize rather than learn. They may get good grades, but they still feel unsure when using English in real-life situations. Second, large classroom sizes are another challenge. When there are 35 to 40 students in a class, it's very hard for teachers to give individual corrective feedback. For example, if a student keeps making grammar mistakes while speaking, the teacher may not have enough time to correct them one by one. This slows down their progress. The third issue is the lack of natural speaking and writing practice. Students mostly complete worksheets, copy notes, or answer textbook questions. They rarely get the chance to speak English freely without feeling judged or afraid of making mistakes. Because of that, many students don't use English outside of exams. They understand the rules, but they struggle to apply them in daily conversations. Lastly, learning is still very textbook focused. Lessons often follow the book page by page instead of helping students understand English through real-life contexts like discussions, videos, or project-based learning. When students learn English only from the textbook, they become good at answering exam questions but not confident in using English naturally in everyday life. So to sum up, improving the school system requires more than just finishing the syllabus. We need smaller class sizes, more speaking and writing activities, and teaching methods that help students use English in real-life situations. If we can shift from exam-based learning to experience-based learning, students will not only perform better academically but also become more confident users of the English language. Thank you.
Thank you, moderator. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will introduce myself once again. I'm Nur Atira Sofia as an educational expert. So, talking about this, I would like to highlight the educational factors that contribute to frequent tense errors among learners, especially students. First thing first, we see our school system, which is our system currently is predominantly or exam oriented, which means most of the lecturers, teachers will pressure enough or like push just to finish the syllabus on time. So because of this, grammar, especially tenses, is often based on very formula based. Students just memorize rules, basically formula like if past tense they need to plus ed at the back. If future they must add will, and so on and so forth. So this stuff uh, will make students lack of how to use it in real life communication. Like students just be taught like that way, and then I believe this is commonly happen, which they just barely memorize without learning why they must add, why they must do like that. Like for instance, the past tense, um, they need to add ed at the back. So because as we know, if we want, when it comes to memorize something, first thing first, we need to understand why that happened. After we know the reason behind it, our brain will easily to adapt or easily to memorize it. So in simplest way, we will easily to memorize it because we already know the reason behind it, rather than barely keep in mind the rules or just memorize the rules. That one is first one, and for the second one is a student don't get enough practice of speaking and writing practice, because in many schools English lesson really focus heavily on answering exam style question, like we know SPM. They just practice via answering the past year question, because they want to um, get used to the formula, or use the way of the question will be asked in the exam. So this is will lead to lack of skills to use English in daily life or in real life communication. Moreover, students will lack the opportunity of speaking naturally. If this happen, they can't what we call, the concept what they learn is just theoretical, not practical, or is in simplest way, they can't use English in real life communication or in real life world. And lastly is, we know Malay is our mother tongue, and most of the students will just translate it from Malay to English. Like as we know, in Malay they don't have structure like past tense. We need to use. We need to change the verb. For present tense, we need to change the verb. So because of this, just translate from Malay to English, they will make student hard to what we call to use it in proper way, or just they just uh, they just simplest translate like that without care about the accuracy of the grammar. So that's all from me.
Thank you, moderator. From the workplace perspective, inaccurate use of English tenses is actually a very common issue among employees in Malaysia. Many organizations depend on English for daily communication, but we still notice consistent tense mistakes in emails, report, and presentation. Based on my experience, I believe there are 4 major causes behind this problem. First and foremost, many employees rely heavily on casual English in their daily interaction at work and on social media. People often use short forms, broken sentences, and mixed language like Manglish. Because of this habit, proper tenses usage become less important in their mind. For example, people tend to say "I sent already" instead of "I have sent it." This casual style become normalized, and employees carry the same grammar habits into formal writing.
Secondly, the influence of social media plays a huge role. Platforms like WhatsApp, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter encourage fast communication, not accurate communication. Like we all know, most users don't bother with tenses at all. They write things like "I'll go tomorrow" or "You come just now," and because it's widely used, it feels acceptable now. Unfortunately, this bad habit transfers into workplace communication, especially when employees are rushing. Over time, they become unable to distinguish between casual English and professional English. The third reason is many companies do not provide proper professional English training. Like we all know, while English is required in most job roles, employees are expected to just know English like it is automatically. But English grammar, especially tenses, is not something we master without guidance. Many employees left school years ago and never had the chance to refresh or improve their grammar. Without workshop, feedbacks, or structured learning, their tense usage stay at the same level or it even getting worse. And finally, the last one is fear plays a big part. Okay, some employees actually understand grammar rules, but they avoid speaking or writing in English because they are afraid of being judged. They feel embarrassed when colleges correct them, so they remain silent. This fear stops them from practicing, and without practice, their grammar accuracy never will be improved. In the end, they choose to use simple sentence or avoid using English completely, which make learning even more difficult. In summary, the workplace environment influences employees' use of English greatly. Casual communication, social media culture, lack of training, and fear all contribute to poor tenses accuracy. Addressing this factor is crucial for improving professional communication, like we all know. I think that's all from me.
Okay, so I'm the moderator, but I'm going to serve as a panelist D as well. So I'm going to share my point that focus on social-cultural factors. Okay, firstly, generally we know that Malaysia is a multilingual country. So most of the students speak more than one language, such as Malay, English, Mandarin, or Tamil. So code switching is a very common in daily conversation, which affect consistent use of English consistently, because we used to mix a couple language in one sentences. So, according to Handayani 2020, students often mix language patterns, making it challenging to apply tense rules correctly. This is because most of students will mix or integrate their dialect, slangs, which is we are not using a same context of grammar or rules in English, because sometimes we are using Malay, sometimes we are using Tamil or Mandarin. So we are not focused on one language grammar. Secondly, English is rarely used at home for many students. So without practice outside school, tenses are not internalized naturally. According to Sadia and Subramaniam 2013, they found that Malaysian secondary students frequently make tense errors in their writing because the home and social environment doesn't reinforce proper grammar. That means they do not get enough encouragement or support from their surrounding, like their family or their friends, because we are not commonly practicing using English in our daily life. And so finally, the influence of social media. Social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and so on expose students to informal English full of slang and abbreviations. So, according to Guinness 2020, he highlights that students tend to prioritize speed, creativity, and trendiness over grammar, so which affects tense accuracy and real-life communication, because most of the students will bring the trendiness words or slang into real-life communication and apply it without using the correct grammar. In conclusion, socio-cultural factors show that the environment, social norms, and online exposure significantly influence students' English usage. Accuracy is not only about knowledge, but social and cultural context plays a key role. Thank you to all panelists for your clear explanations in round 1. We will now move on to round 2, where we will discuss the effects and implications of inaccurate tense usage, especially in communication, education, and social confidence. To begin, I would like to invite panelists to share their thoughts.
First of all, I would like to thank the moderator for the question. Firstly, weak English proficiency often leads to lower marks in writing papers, especially in exams such as MUET, SPM, and even in tertiary level assignments. Many students struggle to express their ideas clearly. Even if they have good content, their grammar errors, limited vocabulary, and unclear sentence structure reduce to the quality of their writing. As a result, they lose marks not because they lack ideas, but because they cannot communicate those ideas effectively through English. This becomes a major disadvantage, especially since English writing carries significant weight in national examinations. Secondly, students often face difficulties in organizing essays. They may not know how to craft proper introductions and body paragraphs and conclusions. Some students jump from one idea to another without using transitions, making their essays look messy and hard to follow. This happens because students are rarely exposed to guided writing or meaningful practice. Most writing tasks are rushed, exam-focused, or based on memorized formats. Without enough practice, students struggle to organize their thoughts logically. Next, weak English foundation affects students as they progress to higher level of education. In secondary school, poor English may only affect English subjects, but once students enter pre-university or university, almost every subject uses English, from structured notes to reference books to academic journals. If their foundation is weak, they will have difficulties understanding complex concepts, reading long academic texts, or completing assignments that require critical analysis. This can lead to poor performance, stress, and reduced motivation to learn. In short, weak English skills becomes a barrier to accessing deeper knowledge. Finally, many students cannot express their ideas confidently during presentations. If they understand the topic well, even if they understand the topic well, they may hesitate, speak softly, or rely too heavily on reading from slides. This often happens because they are afraid of making grammar mistakes or being judged for their fluency. Presentation skills are extremely important, not only for exams, but also for future careers. When students lack confidence in English, they miss out on opportunities to lead, present, and communicate effectively. That's all from me.
Thank you, moderators. So here we go in round 2, which is now we're going to look the effect of inaccuracy of tense. Okay, it might be look simple or just small matter, but actually it causes huge implications. So let's stick with me to go deeper on implication of inaccuracy using tense. From educational point of view, we begin with students uh, who tend to lose mark in major examination. As we know, SPM, which is Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia, and wet writing test. Okay, first thing first, we look at our format, English format, which is consists of writing, listening, reading, uh, reading, speaking. Among of it, writing will carry huge mark. That's why accuracy of using tense is really essential, especially when it comes to writing, because um, even the students have brilliant idea of the writing topic, but um, the idea can't be expressed properly if the students lack at using tense, because it will show not unprofessional, and also the outcome, the essay, without accurate tense will cause the essay will look not organized and not in proper way. So the student totally will lose mark at it. Besides that, as we know, the examiner is really strict on tenses when it comes to writing. Hence, the student totally will lose mark on writing. That's vice versa with the students totally should get, which is they need to aim for high mark for the writing essay. Okay, secondly, students who learn in tertiary level still have the issues, which is incapable to use grammar, to use tense correctly, and this the will affect the study themselves. Which means, as we know, even in tertiary level, most of the IPT use English as a medium language, especially when it comes to writing thesis, um, the article, and so on so forth. And due to the primary school, they just basically memorize it without knowing the reason behind it. They will struggle enough to survive using English at that level. Thirdly, poor tense accuracy will affect the student confidence. How come? Because when they lack at grammar, they feel unconfidence, lack of confidence to talk in English, and this is will result the student will not active, like they will avoid to get indulged in debates, presentation, or even theater, because they feel really unconfident, and this is will lack their opportunities in the future, or in simplest way, um, they will not improving their self. Therefore, tests do not only affect the test score but directly affect the academic of the student itself, and influence academic success, communication confidence, and also future career opportunities.
Thank you, moderator. From industry and workplace perspective, the incorrect use of English tenses actually brings several important implications. Many people assume that tenses mistakes are small and harmless, but in a real working environment, it can affect efficiency, teamwork, communication with others, and even someone's career growth. So, in this round, I would like to share 4 major implications that we commonly observe in the industry. Firstly, tense mistake in email can make an employee appears unprofessional or even careless. In many companies, email is the main form of communication, like we all know. So when someone writes something like the wrong grammar, it may appears as unprofessional attitude for others. So when someone do a grammar mistake in the email, it may look like a small mistake, like nobody would care, but in the corporate world, accuracy shows professionalism, like we all know. So managers and clients can pay attention to how we communicate through our emails. If emails contain a basic tenses error, it may cause people to question the empire's attention to details. This is especially important for careers that require strong communication, like business management or customer service, where writing skill and speaking skill are commonly used in represent the company's image. Secondly, tenses error can lead to miscommunication with clients. As we all know, in business, timing is very important. Whether something has been done, is currently being done, or will be done soon. Like, for example, missing up "we will deliver" and "we have delivered" can cause huge confusion. When clients receive unclear or incorrect information, they feel frustrated and unsure. And when that happens, it directly affects the company's reputation. Clients want accuracy, reliability, and clear communication. Like we all want that. The third one, inaccurate tenses usage can disrupt teamwork. In the group projects, every team member needs to understand what has already been completed, what is currently being done, and what tasks are still ongoing. If someone writes in the group chat, "I update the document," the team may not know whether the update was being done or earlier, or is happening now or will happen later. This lack of clarity can lead to duplicated work, missed deadline, and confusion about task progress. So tenses accuracy is not just about grammar, it actually helps the teamwork smoother and more organized. Finally, we are on the last point, which is incorrect tense usage can affect employees' chance for promotion or leadership position. In the industry, communication is considered a key leadership skill. If an employee repeatedly makes a tenses mistake in reports, emails, presentation, or meeting, employees might feel that the person is not ready to be a leader or handle higher responsibilities. Even during jobs interview, simple error like saying "I worked there for 2 years" instead of "I worked there for 2 years" may give interviewer the impression that the candidate lacks communication readiness. So, tense accuracy can actually influence someone's career growth. So, in conclusion, incorrect tense usage is more than just a grammar issue. It affects professionalism, teamwork, client trust, and even career opportunities. This implication shows why mastering English tense is essential in today's competitive workplace. I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, panelists A, B, and C for highlighting the real-world impact of tense and accuracy. But I would like to share my thought as well. Okay, for the round 2, I will talk about the social and confidence effects when students use incorrect English tenses. Okay, first one is reduce self-confidence. When students keep making tense mistakes, it hurts their confidence. Like a recent study by Atia and Algazo 2025, they found that many teachers notice a strong foreign language anxiety in the classroom, especially during speaking tasks or when they are talking with the authorities person. So students worry or scared about being judged and worry about making grammar errors, which make them less willing to speak up, especially in English. So relatedly, tense errors can lead to real anxiety. Students may begin to avoid speaking English because they fear being corrected or misunderstood. So this kind of language anxiety is not a new issue or problem that happen among learners. But what's worrying is when it's reinforced by constant grammar pressure. Can you imagine if we are not using the correct grammar in our sentences, in our explanation or direction? It's going to be very confusing. Like the terms of plural and singular, or past, present, future. So if we are not choose the tense correctly, we are going to confuse whether it already happened or not. So even though the recent study doesn't focus on the tenses, but it highlights the anxiety and perfectionism about grammar, which includes tense as well, can negatively affect language attainment and clarity. So it clearly seen that lack of knowledge about tenses or grammar will lead to miscommunication. Moreover, anxiety caused by social media and fear of grammar mistakes can make learners less effective communicators socially because they hold back or overthink what they say because they are worrying being judged or mocked by others. So last but not least, social judgment and peer reactions. There is also a social judgment effect. When peers or teachers react even non-verbally to constant grammar mistakes, students may feel embarrassed, shy. So over time, this can create a cycle: low confidence to less speaking, to fewer opportunities to improve, and lead to more anxiety. So this study by Atia and Argazo 2025 suggests that if teachers see anxiety as something that could be reduced if errors were normalized as a part of learning, so rather than criticized harshly. In short, incorrect tense usage is not just a grammar issue, but it impacts students' confidence, social interaction, and willingness to communicate in English. Now, we will move on to round 3, which focus on solutions and practical ways to improve tense accuracy among learners. So, let us begin this round.
Thank you, moderator, for the questions. As an education expert, I believe that improving students' English proficiency requires practical changes, not only from students themselves, but also from teachers and the school environment. So today, I would like to share several effective approaches that schools can implement to help students learn English more meaningfully. Teachers should give immediate corrective feedback during lessons. When a student makes a mistake, whether in pronunciation, grammar, or sentence structure, the teacher can gently correct them on the spot. This helps students learn the correct form immediately and prevents them from repeating the same mistake. Immediate feedback is also more impactful because students can remember what they said and understand how to improve it. This creates a supportive environment where mistakes are seen as part of learning. The third approach is to use authentic materials such as news, articles, short videos, online stories, or even real-life conversations. Authentic materials expose students to real English used by native and fluent speakers. Students can see how vocabulary is used in context, learn natural expressions, and understand different accents. This is more engaging than relying solely on textbooks. When lessons feel relevant and connected to the real world, students become more motivated to learn. Lastly, schools should work on promoting a strong English culture within the school environment. This can be done through English week activities, designated English zones, or even simple initiatives like English Day, where students practice speaking English during recess or between classes. Creating an English-rich environment makes the language feel accessible and less intimidating. Students will gradually become more comfortable using English beyond the classroom, which strengthens their fluency over time. That's all from me.
As the final final round, which is how we can how to overcome this challenge. Okay, from educational side, from educational side, educational institution can take a few effective steps. For instance, first of all is English lessons must emphasize communicative skills. Communicative activities, not just a worksheet. Other than that, they need to use it practically, not just learn the concept or theory. For instance, maybe we can organize storytelling, debates, presentation at age or at lower form or even in primary school. Lastly, English culture must be strengthened in school environment. For instance, maybe school can provide like organize English month, English day, so that the student will get used to it. So, as a conclusion, overcome test accuracies requires a combination of improving from teacher side or teacher method, better classroom practice, authentic uh, exposure, and a supportive school environment. So, with consistent with the effort from teachers, school can significantly improve learner or students' English proficiency either in using of tenses and also speaking naturally. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you again, Miss Moderator. After discussing the cause and implication, I would now like to explain several practical strategies that workplace can implement to improve employees' accuracy in using English tenses. These strategies focus on training, practice, and creating a more supportive English-speaking environment within the organization or even the company. First and foremost, companies can organize English training workshops, especially for professional communication. Many employees actually want to improve their English, but they don't know where to start or the lack of guidance. Workshops can focus on email writing, report writing, presentation skill, and of course, correct tense usage in a professional context. When grammar is taught, through real workplace example, employee can directly apply what they learn to their daily tasks. This makes learning more meaningful and effective. Secondly, workplace should encourage employees to use English more frequently in their daily. The more often they speak English, the more confident they will become. So, simple practice such as using English during morning briefing, quick discussion, or even casual conversation in the office can make a big difference. Regular exposure helps employees become more comfortable with the language and less afraid of making mistakes. Over time, this daily practice naturally improves their tenses accuracy. Third, companies can also help employees by providing access to grammar support tools such as Grammarly or built-in checkers in email platform. This tool highlights tense error and suggests correction in real time. This is not only improve the accuracy of documents and email, but also help employees learn from their mistake. It acts like a personal language coach that guides them while they work. The more employees use this tool, they can become more aware of common errors and proper tenses structure. And finally, to maintain improvement, English should be used consistently in meetings, reports, and documenting. Consistency is important because it reinforces proper usage. When employees are required to present updates, write reports, or share project progress in English, they naturally become more mindful of grammar and tense accuracy. Over time, English becomes a daily habit rather than a pressure. This builds a strong foundation for clear and professional communication within the organization. In conclusion, we all know improving English tense accuracy in the workplace is achievable when companies create a supportive learning environment through training workshop, daily English practice, grammar support tools, and consistent usage in meetings and reports. Employees can gradually develop stronger, more accurate communication skills. This strategy benefits not just individual but the entire organization. I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay. Next, in round 3, I want to talk about practical personal strategies that learners can use on their own to improve their tense accuracy and overall English fluency. First of all, daily English habit or self-talk. Students should develop a habit of speaking English to yourself daily or self-talk. So whether you are walking to class, doing chores, or just thinking, try to voice your thoughts in English, but never directly translate Malay sentences or Tamil or Mandarin to English. You need to think in English. Okay. So this constant self-practice help internalize correct tense use. Studies on self-regulation strategies show that learners who regularly practice self-regulatory speech like self-talk or daily English habit will improve their self-efficacy and willingness to communicate in English. The next one is grammar journaling. So students should keep a grammar journal. Like they need to commit to write 5 sentences a day. So in these sentences, students should deliberately practice different tense like past, present, future, perfect, or continuous. So these habits are going to reflect on any mistakes and correct them. So this kind of self-regulation is a powerful tool. According to Zhang 2024, found that self-regulation strategies significantly boost learners' motivation, self-efficacy, and communication willingness. finally do shadowing technique, which means they can listen to short audio such as podcasts, clips, or it can be music as well, and immediately repeat what you hear, mimicking the speaker's rhythm, intonation, and grammatical structure. So this will help the students to internalize correct tense usage subconsciously. So recent research support this, such as Zafarova 2025 describes shadowing as an effective method that may increase fluency, listening comprehension, and production accuracy. In short, these strategies like self-talk, journaling, intentional media use, and shadowing are accessible, low cost, and self-directed. That means can learn at their own pace without any rush. This technique also empower each learners to take control of their own learning journey, like improving both accuracy and confidence in English. So building these habits can make a real difference, especially for students that would like to strive and to be accurate and professional in English. Thank you. Thank you to all panelists for the practical suggestion. Thank you to all panelists for your valuable contributions throughout the 3 rounds. From today's discussion, we learned that inaccurate tense usage is influenced by social cultural factors and so on. It affects learners' confidence and communication, and there are many effective strategies that learners can adopt to improve their fluency and grammatical accuracy. So we hope this forum increases awareness on the importance of accurate tense use, especially in line with our big idea, being accurate, being professional. With that, we conclude our forum. Thank you and have a great day.